Hey, so we're talking about overcoming distractions. I'm doing it from my computer today because I want to show you something at the end of this session on how to make sure that you're going to be free from all distractions and that you overcome in every way. So I want to say happy 4th of July and thank you to everyone that is serving our country and everyone that has paid the price, and veterans for our country. Thank you so much. We appreciate everything you've done. And we are going to continue to be a place of freedom. And it's important for us, the Americans in America, to be free, is because financial freedom is a part of that freedom that we pay for and that we're fighting for and we're believing for. So I want to say thank you for all of you that have served our country and have given us the ability to make wealth, to gain wealth without an issue, without a problem. So that's a benefit of living in America. And if you're not from America and you're tuning in, well, we fight for you too. We fight for victory for everyone to be free. And as I'm realizing, the more and more I work outside of the country, the more and more I deal with people, businesses outside of the country, the world is becoming very flat because of this medium that we use right here called the internet. And so that's amazing that we get to do business together on this platform. And of course, in flight. Want to just jump in and let's just talk about distraction. Let's think about the word distraction. I'm not going to break it apart or anything. I just want you to think about it. Distraction. I put the little squirrel as my imagery, the little squirrel, and the squirrel was holding all the golden acorns, golden nuts. And so I want you to understand that distractions tries to steal all of your wealth. Distraction, and we of course go squirrel. You know, that's the dog in the movies, Squirrel. So you want to know that the distraction is literally what takes your attention, and it takes your attention by grabbing your visual, your sight. And so if you haven't determined what you're looking at, if you haven't determined that I'm going to stay focused here, I'm going to look over this way, and I'm not going to be distracted by anything, then you have not decided to be free from distraction. So distraction starts with not having a solid point to focus on, to look at. And this is the last of the three sessions that we're doing on overcoming lid, limitation, intimidation, and distraction. If you missed limitation, intimidation, go back on the Barry Buster image and Barry Buster Facebook page, and you'll be able to find that information there and just follow along with us. This is our last week of it, and we're going to jump into something new. I'm really thinking about going into personal branding, but I think it's so good, the stuff that we want to share on personal branding, that I actually should put it in a webinar. So if you're interested in being a part of a free webinar, I'm going to give it away free. All this content for right now is free, but I want to do a free webinar on personal branding. I'm not talking about business branding. I'm talking about you as a brand, personally branding yourself, because that's what's going to flow into your business. Every business has someone that is personally branding and personally branded in order to launch that business and bring it to another level. So you need to know who you are. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about distraction. I get distracted, focusing on your future. And so this is important that you know that distraction is based upon what you're looking at. If you're looking at something and it doesn't really have your attention, it doesn't really catch your eye, it doesn't really get you, your emotions and your feelings, and you're not completely involved and connected with it, then you can easily move your eyes somewhere else and be distracted. So I want to encourage you, first of all, set your focus. Now, have you ever focused on something? You can look in a direction. If you look in a direction, I'm just looking in direction. This is from my kitchen into other parts of my house, into this living space. I'm looking, and as I look over there, I can just look at many things because I'm really just looking in a direction. In the distance over there, there's something going on. But if I really want to go past distraction and I want to set it to a point where it's now distinct, I have distinctions in there. Okay, now I can see that chair and I can see the pillow on the chair, and I have to actually blur out other things, the realm, the edges. I have to blur the edges in order to really see distinctions. In order to be free from distraction, you have to have distinctions that you're looking at. You have to have something that you're blurring out the edges on, and you're actually focusing on one thing, things. But it can't be just, oh, I'm looking over there, I'm going over there. So I say to someone, what are you going to do next? What's happening for you? What's going on in your life? Well, I am in the distance. There's something over there, and it's in that, and it's in that direction. And that's not good enough for you to actually achieve it. You have to actually say, well, over there in that direction, there is a house with with a nice white fence around it. I'm going to walk to that house and I'm going to touch that fence. Now, until you decide I'm going to go and touch that fence, you could be easily distracted by anything that's over there in the distance. Okay, anything that's over in that direction. Oh, look at that. There's a squirrel. Oh, there's a duck. Oh, there's a Audi. Oh, there's a, you can get caught up in all these things because you're actually not distinct in what you're going to look for and what you're going after. So if you're going to actually achieve, you can't be, oh, I'm headed somewhere like this. It's going to be, I want to do something in this kind of arena. No, I'm going to do this. This is exactly what we're going to do. And you pinpoint it and you start heading there. Now, of course, as you're moving towards it, you may think, well, I have to actually go a little bit further down to the right than I thought to get to that place. So I'm making those adjustments, but I'm not changing my direction and I'm not changing my distinct point, the thing that's blurred out everything else around me so that I can focus on that. Now, until you blur out those peripheral, those unnecessaries, the information that wants to get into your mind that has no point and no purpose in what you're heading towards, until you blur all of that out, all of those things will be an option to look at, and there'll be an option to focus on, an option to get distracted by. So if you are not yet distinct and crystal clear in your purpose and you're crystal clear in your why, can't give you all that today, but I want to talk to you about that distinction. Just not be, oh, somewhere in the distance, that's too far. Okay, somewhere in that direction, that's way too broad. Of what in the distance, what in that place over there. It doesn't matter if your dream is like 10 years, 15 years, 13 years away. You can still point something out in that distance and go there. So we're not talking about, oh, it's so far away. It's, I've got this schooling to do and I've got this to do and I've got this. That's not the issue. None of those are the issues. It's the issue is if you don't focus on that, you'll be distracted by frat parties and all kinds of other things, options that come your way, because you aren't actually pinpointed enough in order to be decisive. And if you're not decisive, you're distracted. And if you're distracted, then you're going to never accomplish that which you've actually pinpointed. So hopefully that helps with just the first aspect that I wanted to talk to you about, which is distraction is a sign that you have not made a decision. We know that the word decision comes from to cut away, cut things off, saying, well, I'm not going to do that. That's a decision. Well, I don't want the burger. I'm always, I'm at a restaurant. I'm looking at the menu. Well, I know what I don't want. I don't want the meatloaf. I tell you that I like meatloaf, but I'm never, ever. And I heard that there's places that have great meatloaf, but I'm never eating meatloaf that's not homemade. I just never have. And I look at it, I'm like, well, it just ain't grandma's meatloaf, right? So I've already cut that off. Jambalaya, gumbo. I'm not eating that off of a restaurant menu. I've tried it. Not good enough. So you have to be able to say, I'm never doing this. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this. And I'm not doing this. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not. So until you've been so decisive and you had such decision, it's not just taking to you, but it's cutting things from you. You have to have those, I will not do this. And if you don't have I will not do that, then you're open to doing anything and everything. So you want to make sure that you have I will not do this. Sounds like it's a negative, but in order to have the positive, you have to have the negative that says, I will not do this. I will not do that. I will not do this. I will not do that. I know people don't like to have I will nots, but you have to have I will nots in order to be successful, because what you choose not to do highlights what you choose to do. So if someone says, hey, would you like a cigarette? Well, no, I don't actually, I'm not a smoker. So that's an identity that I've already taken on. It's not that that maybe tastes good. No, I've already know I don't want to smoke, and I will not smoke. Not because I'm not mad with you smoking. You smoke if you want to, because that's my will not is not your will not. Your will not is your will not, but my will not is mine. And so I've made a decisive decision that I don't want to do that. Someone says, skip your workout today. Well, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Is it Sunday? No, it's not Sunday. So Sunday is my only skip the workout day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm working out every day. So I will not skip my workout today. And if I do skip a workout because of a travel day, I only skip it because I know I'm going to do it on Sunday. So I have 6 days a week. I will not do less than 6 days a week. So you have to have those decisive things. You have to cut things off in order to cut things in. And so it's very important. If you don't make room for it, if you don't actually sever some things and make room for it in your emotions, then you will miss it. This is the next point. If you don't actually have the decisive ability, the ability to decide beforehand, be decisive. Decisiveness is not really something you choose in the moment. It's something that you decide beforehand. I decided I'm going to be this. I decided I'm not going to be this. I decided I'm going to, you make those decisions, but you make those decisions before you actually sit down to actually, you have the moment, you have the opportunity. So decide beforehand and cut things away beforehand, things that you just have decided I'm never going to do. Then you want to make sure you do what you are supposed to do, what you really want to do. You want to put your energies in the right place. And so if you can't put your energy in the right place, it's because you don't know actually the right place. Pinpoint the place. Once you pinpoint the place, then do your best to write it down. I remember when I first started in business, I started in a multi-level business that they call network marketing. Some people call it direct marketing. I started in a multi-level business. My first business opportunities, well, my real first business opportunities, of course, is a paperboy. So we can go back that far, but as an adult, my first opportunities, well, actually I had a car detailing business. So anyway, my first network marketing opportunity, I was asked this question constantly: what's on your calendar? Open up your calendar. Let's see what's in your calendar. My upline was always asking me about my calendar. So I'd open up my calendar and he would see spaces on my calendar. He says, you know what, you're not busy here. That means that there's going to be opportunity for you to be distracted. Don't get distracted by putting something on the calendar. If you write it down here, then I'll know that you're working, you'll know that you're working, and you'll have something to compare this moment, this opportunity that's going to come your way, that's going to try to distract you from working in the business or doing whatever you have to do. It's going to try to distract you. And so he would open up my calendar, and I made sure my calendar was booked. I'm meeting with someone here, I'm going here. Even if I'm going to go and do something leisurely, it's on my calendar. Even if I'm going to do something relaxing, it's on my calendar, because it's not allowed just to be an open space, an open recreation space that hasn't been designed as an open recreation space is an opportunity for squirrels to steal my wealth. And I don't want squirrels to steal my wealth, whether that's family wealth or whether that's financial wealth or whether that's physical wealth or whatever I'm stockpiling, whatever I'm building is my wealth. And I don't want that squirrel to steal my wealth. I want to make sure that my wealth is locked in, and my wealth is only connected to what's happening in my calendar. So the reason I created Barrier Buster, the app, is because I work with people that they don't know what they're doing every day. They say, well, tell me about your rhythm. Okay, I have a rhythm for the week, but my rhythm for the week breaks down my rhythm for each day, and each day's rhythm breaks down the rhythm for the rest of the day. And I love calling it a rhythm because it's not just a schedule. It's my rhythm. And if you don't like the rhythm that you're going at, you'll feel frustrated and you'll feel uncomfortable and you feel awkward and you feel like this isn't working and I don't know what's wrong with me and something's wrong. I just went off beat just then. And then but you get off beat, and then the next thing you know, you are off rhythm and you're off sync with your life, and you're off wanting to do something that makes you fulfilled because you don't have a rhythm. So get a rhythm for your week, get a rhythm for your day, get a rhythm for your hours in your day, and get a rhythm for the minutes of your day and the seconds of your day. If you can get down to that detail, schedule in fun, schedule in breaks, schedule in zones, schedule in whatever app game you like to play, schedule it in, put all that in, because you should reward yourself for being detailed. It's important that you work amount of days and then you get a refreshing. You work amount of hours and then you get a refreshing. We learned that in school. A child can't just stay focused all 8 hours. They need to have a break. They need to have a 15-minute break, a recess break, an hour break for lunch. And so those breaks are very important. I'm running out of time here, so I need to hurry up. So I want you to understand, you need to learn to write it down. And I'm going to show you something in a moment that truly helps me when I'm not focused, and I'm going to open up in a moment the Barrier Buster app. And I want to show you, it's based upon Pareto, his principle of 80-20. So there's a principle that most of your activity is not producing what you want it to produce. 20% of what you really do produces 80% of your reward. So what if you know what that 20% is? What if you really, really know what it is? What if you know what, this is my hammer. This thing is going to connect, and when I connect with it, It's going to bring incredible increase to me. So I'm going to put my efforts, my energy there. I'm not going to disperse my energy trying to figure out, is this working? 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 If it's not working, then shave it off. Decide, separate it from you, that that's not working, this is working, and then put your energy, because we don't have an unlimited amount of energy. I know we feel like it. I feel energetic. I feel like running. I feel like overcoming. I have so many dreams and visions. Man, I'm telling you, I'm just so alive. I was with my buddy Colin, and he walked me through his house, and I'm like, buddy, and I was trying to see if there was a for sale sign on that street. I'm like, come on, somebody. Well, you have to be able to know where your energies are. That got me juiced. I'm so energized. I couldn't wait to talk to you, because I want to help you achieve big dreams. I want to be able to achieve my dreams as well. And I want to help everyone on the way to go where they're going. But you don't have an unlimited amount of energy. So put the energy where Pareto says, he says, put it in the 20% that is actually going to produce the 80%. Don't just put it anywhere. So we're going to talk about that in a moment. A lot of people don't know why they're tired. We don't know why Starbucks is literally one of the largest coffee. They still owe me money there, but they're one of the largest coffee vendors there is in the world. Why? Because people don't know what they did with their energy, so they need to bust in with more energy to do what they now need to do. And so we're dispersing energy like just radically out of control. We need to put our energy in systematic, very processed ideas and thoughts, decided moments and decided places. And so when you put your energy in the right place, you feel rewarded after you do that, that you can actually just go through some of the other, just off of that energy that shows you reward. All right. So it's important that we know to do this. And I wanted to talk to you about emotional intelligence. Let me just talk to you just a brief moment, because what's going to pull you out, what's going to distract you is a lack of emotional intelligence, a lack of one of the four components of emotional intelligence is self-regulation. I know we always want to talk emotional intelligence, social awareness, but self-regulation is the key to you being socially aware. And so we get this self-regulation. Self-regulation means I'm an emotional being. I need to feel like I'm winning. I need to feel like there's gratitude and that there's that I'm feeling rewarded for what I'm doing. If I don't ever feel rewarded, then I don't feel alive. And if I don't feel alive, then I don't feel like living. And if I don't feel like living, then I feel like slowly killing myself off, or some people immediately killing themselves because they're not rewarded. And sometimes your reward is not instantaneously. So you need to have a reward. You need to have a reward that's written down, and you need to have the system and the process to get to that reward. And now the benchmarks to that reward are the gratitude, the gratification. I'm now going to say, wow, I'm going to work on this for an hour. When I'm done with that hour, I'm like, ooh, I did the hour. Now I'm celebrating the hour. Now I'm getting gratification from that hour saying, thank you for using me. I feel gratitude from this moment. You feel it. It enters into your body, your joy center starts to kick in, and everything starts to feel alive. And because the hour saying you used me well, the moment is saying you got the most out of me. I feel gratification, although I'm not at my end result. And so we often think, well, if I don't have it in my hand, I'm not getting it. But you can get gratification in just writing down what you want to do, doing it, marking it off, and going, oh, it worked. I did it. Well, that's gratification. That's where most people don't know how to use gratification. We always say delayed gratification, but there needs to be daily, consistent gratification. Okay, the big vacation, the big home, the big car is that big gratification. But I'm talking about this kind of gratification that says, I accomplished something, check mark. That is so gratifying to go, check mark. It's off my list for the day. Woo! It's going to be back on there tomorrow. But check mark today. Every time you check it off, the endorphins and the dopamine just kicks in. You get so excited. You're like, ooh, I accomplished something. Let's go for the next thing. That sense of accomplishment, you need to give it to yourself every day. And if you don't write down in your calendar, if you don't use your Barrier Buster, which is all these cycle triggers are built in this little tiny app, I'm telling you, it's like too overwhelming. I know. You open up, you're like, where do I start? Do I start with assessing myself? Do I start with this? Just start where you feel like you need to start. If you have habits that you're irritated with, don't do assessment yet. Just go straight to the habits, right? I'll show you that in a second. But you want to have this little thing where you're checking stuff off because you get that gratification and your emotions start to go, yes, okay, yes, I'm doing well. I'm self-regulating here. I'm saying no to stuff and I'm saying yes to good stuff. I'm saying no to bad stuff, yes to good stuff. It's sometimes when I'm really, really tempted with French fries. I know, French fries, and I'm like at my calorie count. I count my calories all day, every day. At my calorie count, I'm like, ooh, this fry is gonna push me over. I think to myself, how gratifying would it be to say no? I do. And I say, no, no, thank you. And I go, it's still calling at me. I like French fries. I'm still calling me French fries, talking to me. In and out, is yelling, right? And I'm like, no, no. I got to say no, because there's a gratification. I know what my number is. I know what I need to stay at. I know where I need to go. No. Oh, and that's gratifying to be able to say, I said no. It haunts me for a few minutes, but I said no. So emotional, keeping your emotions intact, locking in with your emotions and making sure that you are emotionally healthy. Now, this is important. I was thinking about 2 words today. This is going to be fun. Hopefully I can remember it. Rambunctious is something that we call a child whose emotions are just wild. We were on a plane yesterday and woo, it was wild. But I found that parents are actually encouraging their children to be rambunctious. I mean, they wouldn't call it rambunctious. They're calling experiment. Yeah, and I'm into, making sure that a child has this, but then at the same time, they should be able to know when to stop, right? And you say, okay, this is enough. If a person doesn't ever learn when enough is enough, then they actually become an emotionally unintelligent person in their life because they don't know when to stop. They can't stop on a dime when you're told to stop. Those are unhealthy things. And some parents that I saw on the plane are raising emotionally unhealthy and unintelligent people. They won't know when's too far is too far, or what should be accepted. They won't have those decisive abilities. We need to teach them decision making. This is a decision to stop crying right now. It's not that you want to stop crying, but this is the decision to stop crying. I remember I said to my daughter, specifically because I wanted her to know the value of her tears. And my sons, I did it with them as well. But I remember saying to my daughter, I said, okay, listen, let's talk about how important this is to you. Okay, is it this? No. Is it this? No. Is it this? No. Is it this? No. Okay, all these things deserve tears. It's none of these things, and it doesn't equate to these things. So these things are very expensive, emotionally expensive things. So you can use your tears on this. You can use your tears on this, but is this worth your tears? Because your tears are extremely valuable. And she learned emotional intelligence to know, not that you have to suck it up. No, just know what you're spending and know why you're spending it and know how much it actually costs you to spend this. And so she learned that's worth my tears. That's not worth my tears. And so when friends start to trip a little bit and teenager and stuff, well, then she knows that's not worth my tears. That's worth my tears. That's worth my tears. That's my, and so adding value. So knowing how to add value, knowing what that is. And so first word that came to me this morning. This was interesting. That came to me as I was meditating on this, rambunctious. And then I thought, what's the difference between rambunctious and cantankerous? Because I don't think cantankerous, I've never heard it used for a child. Cantankerous is only an old dude, maybe lady, that is mean and doesn't know how to control their emotions. And I thought, I wonder on this end, when you're a kid, if it's rambunctious, and then if you never stop it until you become an old dude, you're now just cantankerous. And so we can stop a person from being cantankerous by not being rambunctious. And you need to actually follow your emotion. What you're doing right now, where's that going to lead you if we keep it on the timeline? Okay, so that's important. Emotional intelligence. I don't want to talk more about that. Let me see if I have enough time. I'm going to steal an extra 5 minutes from you if you can hang on. But if you go into this, I'm not sure if you can see that. You'll see that, and it's all backwards. You go in time management. The first thing it does is it brings you, when you open up after the first time, it brings you to this place, and you just slide over to a place where it says focus. Focus is what I want you to work on every day. I want you to open that up, if you don't use the app at all at this point, just open up the app, Barry Buster app, on any of your Google Play or Apple Store. Open it up, and I want you to go through these. I want you to go through these three things. This top one, this is based upon the Pareto principle, trying to lock in your 20%. What's giving you the real rewards of your life? And so the first is what's important. The second is what is important but not urgent. And the third, what is low important and low urgency. That's delegation. If you have a question of what any of these are, there's a little question mark there. It will lay all that down. I'll try to take you through this next week, because I think focus is the thing that we all need to work on. We all want to jump into. Hopefully that didn't distract you, because I couldn't pull up the screen. I'm going to practice right now. As soon as I click off with you, I'm going to make sure I practice that and get that handled. Anyway, I'll see if I can do it with Zoom. If I can't do it with Zoom, I'll pull up ScreenFlow next week, and I'll use ScreenFlow to do it. But I want to show you how to become who you know you are supposed to be. And don't let the squirrel have any more of your golden nuts, any of your acorns, your wealth. Just make sure you keep it, and it's going to keep it. You're going to keep it by not being distracted. Hopefully that was clear. You're going to not be distracted, set a focus. You're going to write some stuff down so that you have something to say no to. You're going to keep your emotions under control by doing it and making sure that you're focusing. Think long term. There's a lot more to talk about in all of this. We'll keep it going.